Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to yet another Stone Cold Hockey video. And we're doing the Tournament of Champions for the 24-25 season. 32 teams, everyone plays. They get a random opponent, no seeding or anything. As you can see, the bracket and all that. We've had some game sevens and all that. San Jose, it was the Young Prospects Bowl. Celebrini versus Connor Bedard, and San Jose won it with Celebrini. Calgary beat Columbus in what they call the Goudreau Bowl because the two teams that Goudreau played for in his NHL career, Calgary and Columbus, faced each other. Seattle faced Detroit, was down 3-1, but the Red Wings, just like 1991 against the St. Louis Blues, blew the 3-1 series lead. Minnesota beat up on Vancouver in 5 games. Well deserved. Washington, Pittsburgh, Ovi versus Ovechkin. Crosby versus Ovechkin, and Washington won. Ovi won this round. Colorado taking out Winnipeg in 7. The President's Trophy winners in real life, losing to the Avalanche. Well, Colorado did have home ice. Game 7 that helped. Boston beat Vegas. With Brad Marchand on that team. Carolina won Game 7 on home ice against Tampa. Rangers swept the Cupcakes 4 straight. The Ducks swept Utah 4 straight. Ottawa takes down Nashville in what they call the Mike Fisher Bowl in 6. Dallas took out Washington and LA in 7. LA was actually down 3-0, forced Game 7, but lost Game 7. Philly beats Buffalo, putting Buffalo in a bad spot almost always. Edmonton beat New Jersey in 5. Connor McDavid putting on a clinic. St. Louis take down Montreal in 6. And the Leafs take out the Panthers in 5. So the Leafs actually do their job this time and win in 5. So we have San Jose versus Calgary, a rematch of the 2004 Western Final in real life. Seattle, Minnesota, kind of a critical series, but Gustafson might be the key factor. Washington, Colorado, the Dale Hunter Bowl because Dale Hunter played for Quebec, Colorado, and also Washington. Boston, Carolina, those teams. This is a rematch of 2009 second round of action. Rangers, Anaheim. This is Jacob Trouba coming back against his former team, the Rangers, who were his captain, and the future team of Chris Kreider, who was traded today. This is being taped on June the 12th when Kreider got traded to Anaheim. Ottawa and Dallas, and what we call Danny Heatley Bowl? No, the Ben Bishop Bowl, I think, or something like that. Philly, Edmonton, rematches of the 80s, and St. Louis, Toronto, 93 rematch. Okay, so we're just going to autoplay everything until Game 7 potentially happens. First off, Calgary San Jose Game 1, and Calgary on home ice wins 5-2. Dustin Wolf, the Calder Trophy or Rookie of the Year as well, runner-up to uh, Lane Hudson of the Habitants. He wins over Georgiev. San Jose goes by Will Smith and Eklund, not the actor. Well, Will Smith, not the actor or the LA Dodgers catcher. Calgary goes by Nazem Kadri. Kitchener, like Coleman, Klapka, Caranto, and Kadri again. Kitchener. Game 1 is Colorado, Washington. Washington all over Colorado 8-3. Lindgren beats Blackwood. Colorado goes by Lehkonen, Nikushin, and Russ Colton. That was Russ Cotton. Washington goes by Pierre Dubois. Nick Dowd. Rasmus Sandin, former Leaf prospect. Pierre-Luc Dubois. Protas. Ovi, his fifth. Fran and Connor McMichael. Ovi's proving himself. Rangers Anaheim. Rangers win in Anaheim 6-3. Quick beats Dostal. Anaheim goes by Terry Lundstrom and Carlson. Cutter Gauthier with an assist. Trouba with. Oh, they put Trouba on the Rangers. I thought he'd be on the Ducks. Well, Cutter, you're stupid. Well, I didn't know. Trouba with 2 assists. I thought Trouba was for the Ducks. That was his last name. Because, Rantanen's on Dallas. Never mind. Easy Kreider scoring against his future team. Panarin Bread, then Will Cooley. Easy Kreider does it again. Trocheck and Trocheck. Edmonton crushes Philly 6-2. Skinner beats Urson. Philly up 2-0 goes by Forster and Couture, but Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Hendrick, Connor Brown, and Hendrick for the oil drop. Leafs win 6-5 in overtime over St. Louis. Big game. Stolers beats Binghamton. St. Louis was up 4-2 after 2 periods on goals by Robert Thomas, Holloway, Bulldog, and Jordan Kyrou. Toronto goes by Scott Lawton and Willie Nylander. Then Toronto scored twice in the third. Marner and Matthews. St. Louis made it 5-4 neighbors. Nylander scored, and then in overtime at 8:33, Bobby McMahon from home, Pontius Holmberg and Tavares. Leafs win. Dallas beats Ottawa 6-3 in game one. Casey DeSmith beat Allmark. Ottawa goes by Greig, Godet, and Great. Dallas goes by Duchesne. Robertson, not enough. Robertson, get that hat trick. And JB Ben. Love you guys. Carolina 5-4 over Boston. Kokachev beats Swayman. Big win for Carolina. McAvoy, Pasternak, Geeky and Pasternak scoring the goals. Carolina goes by Taylor Hall, Jarvis, Martin Kokiemi, and Schnashnikov finally scoring a goal. And finally, Minnesota in overtime over Seattle 5-4. Seattle was up 4-1. Toivonen, 2 goals, Montour and Bernier. Seattle was getting their momentum from coming back from Detroit. Boldy for Minnesota, then Boldy, Bogosian, Marco Rossi at 17:53, and in overtime, after Stevenson got in penalty box, Marcus Johansson passed to Suk, and Suk scored for Minnesota. So the home team only lost twice. Washington, Colorado game 2 sees Washington go to Colorado and win 4-2. Thompson beats Blackwood. Colorado goes by Nikushkin and McKinnon. Washington goes by Strom, DeHane, Protas, and Pierre Dubois. Ducks win 4-1 as Dostal beats Shishkin. Rangers were up 1-0. DJ Mika is third by Cutter Gauthier. Shut up, Cutter. 2 goals by him. He's got 4. Trouba with a goal. Wait, Trouba's not supposed to be for the Rangers then. Well, Trouba scored from Gauthier and Solig and Vetrano from Carlson and Hellison. Man, Ranger fans will not be happy who they get because, Cutter Gauthier. Edmonton now is up 2-0. Pickard beats Urson. Philly goes by Konecki and Forster. Connor Brown, Nooch Hopkins, Jeff Skinner, Kitchener, Leo Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid scoring. Toronto now up 2-0 on St. Louis 4-1. Stolarz beats Hofer. Neighbors scored, but McMahon, Nylander, Marner, and Marner. Finally, Marner's putting up points when it matters most. He won't be back in Leaf colors next year. Dallas wins in overtime. Goddard and Tim Stutzer for Ottawa, Rantanen and Johnston. And then overtime, Heiskanen for Blackwell and Wyatt Johnston at 8:43. So Dallas is now up 2-0. Boston wins in overtime from Carolina. Carolina had a score in the last minute. Seth Jarvis is 8, but Marchand, I guess he is on Boston, from Sadorov, scoring 2 goals for Boston when it counts the most. Game 2, Minnesota beats Seattle 6-1 easily. Gustafson takes down Dakor. Ginger did go for Seattle, but Boldy, Marcus Foligno, Boldy, Kaprizov, Goodrow, and Hartman for Minneapolis. And San Jose beats Calgary 3-1, big win for them. Goodrow, Will Smith, and Eklund for San Jose. Shaganovich for Calgary. So right now there are 5 series at 2-0. Edmonton, game 3, goes to Philly, wins in overtime. Michkov did score with a minute 10 left to force overtime, but at 14:41, Ekholm from Kulak and Evan Bouchard doing his job, and the Oiler drop after 95 minutes. Oh, I guess it was in double overtime. Yeah, 35 minutes. After double overtime, Ekholm does his job, and the Oilers are now 1 win away. Toronto will lose in St. Louis 3-2. Close game. Robert Thomas scored in the wee seconds. Well, Letty and Broberg as well. Toronto goes by Marner and Nice. Stolarz was in the Binghamton. Dallas will go to Ottawa and win 3-2. Smith beat Merton Linen. Ottawa was up 2-0. Brady Kachuk and Jake Sanderson. But Sam Steele, Wyatt Johnston, and Ruben Hintz did it for Dallas. Minnesota will go to Seattle and win 2-1. Gustafson beat Decor. Shorts for Seattle. Rossi and Foligno for Minnesota. So Seattle has to come back from a 3-0 deficit this time. Washington wins 5-1. They're now up 3-0. Thompson beats Wedgwood. McCarr did score for Colorado, but Washington goes by McMichael, Turchin, Dowd, Tom Wilson, and Downstrom. Anaheim Rangers game 3 sees Anaheim go to New York and win 4-2. John Gibson, Kitchener wins. Yeah, Ranger fans are not too happy with that. I bet. Rangers are up 2-0. Brzezinski and Zibanejad scoring the goals. DJ Mika. But Kaloran scored twice. Trouba and Leeson. So Trouba is trying to ruin Ranger hearts again. Boston wins 5-2 to take control of the series. Swayman beats Tokarski. Fuck that guy, Tokarski. Carolina goes by Rosovsky and Taylor Hall. Boston goes by Brasil. I know he was for Minnesota at the end. Lindholm, Pasternak, Coyle, and Geeky. And finally, San Jose beats Calgary 3-2 to go up 2-1. Askarov beats Wolf. Calgary was up 2-0. Ball and Saturday, but San Jose goes by Celebrini, Toffoli, and Nico Sturm finally scoring. Washington, do they sweep? No, Colorado wins 7-3. Blackwood beats Lindgren. Ovechkin did score twice, but all for naught. So Washington will have to go back to Colorado. Edmonton will sweep the Flyers, although it took overtime. Pickard against Fedatov. Hyman from Perry and Ekholm scoring the goals as the Oil drop. Sweep Philly and will move on to the second round. Edmonton 4-1 against New Jersey, 4-0 over Philly. So they've had an easy road of it. Dallas will sweep Ottawa 5-2. Ottinger beats Olmark. Baverson and Amadeo for Ottawa, but Dallas goes by Ben Marchman, Dadonov, Robertson, and Hintz. So Dallas, they had to go to game 7 against LA, but they've won 4 straight from Ottawa. So they're looking pretty good. Wait, does it give like a schedule? Oh, it doesn't give a schedule. Sorry. I thought it gave schedule. Minnesota, did they sweep? No, they don't. Ottawa, they were up 1-0. Kaprizov. But then with a minute left, Azamon scored. Montour quickly in overtime from Mahora and Capo. And Minnesota had a chance to sweep Seattle and botched it. San Jose will lose 3-1. It's at game 6 at least. Wolf beats Askarov. Celebrini did score his 5th, but Calgary goes by Shannon Garnoff, Kadri, Kitchener, and Sari. Rangers win 4-2. It's at least a game 6. Quick beats Husso. Rangers were up 2-0. Panarin and VJ Mika. Hellison for Anaheim, then Mason McTavish. But Sam Carrick, remember him? And Braden Schneider scoring for the Rangers, who will at least force a game 6. Toronto will have to go home, losing 4-3 to St. Louis. Stoltz losing the Huffer. Toronto goes by Tavares, Kampf. Why did I say that? And Holmberg. St. Louis goes by Pareko, Cam Fowler, Matthew Joseph, and Buchnevich. So Toronto will have a game 6 in that series. And Carolina will force a game 6 against Boston. Overtime heroics. Tokarski with the win. Fuck. Blake at 5:40 from Aho and Hall. Who's Blake for Carolina? Jackson Blake. Never heard of him. Washington, do they end it in 5? Yes, they do. They take down Colorado. Lindgren meets Kakkonen. Colorado was up 3-2. Goals by Kelly, Lehkonen, and Colton. Ovi and Eller for Washington. Colorado did score 1 goal in the third period. That was Nikushkin. But Ovi and McMichael took over in the 5 goals. 3 by McMichael for the hat trick. And Ovi scored 2 goals to have his hat trick. So Ovi and McMichael with the hat tricks. Washington, they had to deal with Pittsburgh in 7 games, but they came back with a 5-game series against Colorado. So Pittsburgh was up 3-0 in game 7, and they choked it. So Washington had momentum. Minnesota, the other team up 3-1. They finished the job 4-1 on Seattle. Gustafson beat Dakor. Done for Seattle, but Trny, Middleton, Rossi, and Middleton for them. Did they have to go to game 7, Minnesota? I don't know. Oh, no, they didn't. They took down Vancouver in 5. So Minnesota's had a few easy series. San Calgary game 5 goes to Calgary. Wolf over Grigoriev. Sharks goes by Tyler Toffoli. Both of them. Huberdeau, Frost, and Coleman. I would say Morgan Frost, but I'm probably wrong. I don't think Calgary had Morgan Frost. Oh, no, I was right. Morgan Frost. Okay. My names aren't familiar. Rangers will lose in Anaheim 4-2. Dostal beats Shurkin. Oh boy. Ranger goes by Edstrom with both of them. Anaheim goes by Cutter Gauthier. He's got 2. He's got 6. McTavish and Toronto. Boy, Ranger fans are not going to like the name Cutter. The feeling is mutual. Toronto beats St. Louis 5-3 as Stoltz beats Binghamton. St. Louis was down 4-0. Matthews, McMahon, Nice, and Matthews. St. Louis goes by Holloway, 2 by Neighbors. Mitch Marner scored to make it 5-3. And Carolina beats Boston 5-4, so they're now up 3-2. Ketchup beats Swayman. Boston goes by Pasternak, Kopke, Kiki Kiki. Caroline goes by Aho, Aho, Taylor Hall, Roslovic, and Orloff. So 3 series going to game 6. 4, sorry. So half are in, half are not. And Calgary beats San Jose. They are now moving on. Vladar beats Georgiev, Rasmus Anderson, Sharaganov, Uyghur, Corano, and Backlund. So Vladar does the shutout. Calgary in their 2 rounds. Vikings against Columbus, 6 against the Sharkies. Rangers win game 6, 4-3. So it's a game 7 in Anaheim. Quick beats Gibson, Kitchener. Anaheim goes by Terry. Cutter Gauthier, man, he's torching the Rangers, and the Ranger fans are upset with the name Gauthier. Cutter. Amazing McTavish. Rangers goes by Adam Fox. What does the Fox say? La Lafreniere. Mika, DJ Mika, and then Trojack. 4-3. Toronto St. Louis. It will be Toronto winning 6-3. They're moving on. They took down Florida in 5. They take down St. Louis in 6. Wall beats Bennington. St. Louis goes by Holloway, Joseph, and Kyrou. Leaf goals by Matthews, McMahon, Nick Robertson, Nylander, Nice, and Philip Myers. I forgot we had him. But yeah, Toronto is going to move on. Nice. And Carolina beats Boston to go in 6. Kakachuk beats Swayman. They had to go to game 7 against Tampa. Boston goes by Elias Lindholm Hershon has 6, and Trent Frederick. Carolina goes by Snatchnikov with 2, Jarvis with 2. So we have 1 game 7 on the docket. Rangers Anaheim. And it will be John Gibson, Kitchener going up against Johnny Quick. So the backups pretty much going after each other. William Domingue there too. We'll see what happens here. The Rangers. 2 minutes into the game. Rangers have jet skiers. The Cooley side of the pillow. His third from Lafreniere and Fuchs. 1-0. Much later. Enforcer, aggression. A fight. Cooley decides to fight Russ Johnston. I don't know if that's a good move. Because it robs the Rangers of its scoring threat. But they score anyway. Easy Kreider. I think that's his 3rd goal of the series against his future team. From Trocheck and Fox makes it 2-0 Rangers. Trying to kill the clock. Lafreniere. Fuck. Thought he had it. The Rangers think it's coming is Rempy. That tall drink of water. Terry from Carlson and Johnston. Johnston's a goal away from the Gordie Howe hat trick. Cooley's an assist away from the Gordie Howe hat trick. 5 minutes later. Rangers score. Vidi Fezzi. I came, I saw, I scored. His 2nd from Fox, and holy crap, Will Cooley. So Will Cooley has the Gordie Howe hat trick. A goal, assist, and a fight. Much later. And he scores! DeLorme and Terry with assist. Holzberg his 8th. I think that's his 6th of the series. Shut up, Cutter. Yes, sir. 5 minutes later. Closer. Sam delivers a hit. 3 minutes later. Michael Jackson LeCoulin who scores from Fraternal and Seagrass. It's like, where's Seagrass going? And it's 3 through 40 minutes. And it's K. Miller. Willie Packers bag. Kavon scores from Seagrass. Makes it 4-3. Yeah. 4 minutes later. Rangers take a chance. Lafreniere. No. Much later. It's good! Who the hell is that guy? Stroman and Terry with assist. By Nikita Nastarenko. Never heard of this guy. It's now 5-3. Looks like the Ducks are going to move on. Typical Rangers. Will Borgen decides to fight Rado Gudas. A lot good that's going to do them. And the Rangers can't do anything, and the Ducks are going to move on to round 3. They're going to the quarters. The Ducks of all teams. The Rangers are out of luck. Chris Kreider scoring, 3 times in the series against his future team? And Cutter Gauthier putting up, 6 goals in this series? Man, a real hatred for the word Jeff Diamond. Cutters everywhere, especially Jeff Cutter Diamond, are going to be really hated on. Rangers had a 3-1 lead and choked it in Game 7. So now, what does this mean? Well, Dallas will play Carolina. Oh, the Rantanen Bowl, because Rantanen used to be with Carolina, and they went to Dallas. Washington, Minnesota. That could be interesting. No, Anaheim, Calgary. So New York would have faced Calgary. Okay, Anaheim, Calgary. That's gonna be a typical series. Oh no, they put Edmonton and Toronto in the same quarterfinal. Are you nuts? Anaheim, Calgary. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be Anaheim or Calgary. Someone is going to make the semifinals, and one of Toronto, Edmonton will not. Well, I mean, we took out the Panthers, but that's going to be an interesting quarterfinal to be sure. Yeah, even Washington, Minnesota looks like that could be an interesting series. So stay tuned. And Jeff Diamond, adieu.